All right, welcome everyone to the Athens in Motion Commission special call meeting to review and approve a letter regarding the Firefly Trail alternates. This is a really quick. We have 8 members, so we have 4 plus 1 with Warren here, Teresa, Jake, Mark, and Aaron. Thank y'all for being here. And Stephen, thank you for making this happen. So Stephen does have a meeting after this, so this really is to approve or maybe make one edit. So we can't spend a lot of time talking about this, is what I mean. If we need to, if we're not ready, that's fine. But the purpose of this meeting is to approve the letter. So and we're not going to review our minutes or anything like that because we still have our full meeting later this month. So that will be coming then. I will turn it over to Aaron, who is the writer of this letter. Aaron, would you like me to pull it up on the screen?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you. And we were all here when we did the edits. I don't know, Jake, were you here?
That was in a policy meeting? No, I wasn't there for the meeting.
No, I didn't think so. But and we just went over some edits to this, as you may have seen. Added in a photo to show the rate of fatalities, especially over 40 miles an hour, is 80%. Try to drive the point home about crossing the road, especially on option C, how dangerous this is, even with a signalized crossing. But we just want to emphasize, especially the safety concerns with B and C. B has plenty of the driveway crossings, which are going to be a problem for potential for collisions with people coming in and out of their driveways. And we're asking that if they do consider this option, B or C, that they paint the right of way there, or at least mark where the trail is coming through the driveway so that people know it's there. It is, there's going to be frequent user traffic there. And so that also people don't park in it because that's going to block the way. So that was our recommendation, of course, is for A, to stick along the original rail bed. That's overall our big push here, is to stay along with that, not only to stay in kind of in line with what the Firefly should be, which is a stress-free travel zone for users, staying on the easy grades of the old railroad, but also because of safety too. So, and yeah, I hope everybody approves of this, but if there's any objections, so let's hear it now.
No objection. I agree with everything here, and I look at the graphic. I think that is, you may have heard this expression, but a picture, they tell me, is worth 1,000 words. So I'd make one suggestion, just one, and I'm not, this isn't a make or break thing at all, but I do worry a little bit that they could read this as saying, alternative A or is equivalent, just as good as B or C with all of the recommended changes. And in other words, we kind of say significant changes would need to be made, then you list the changes, and then say we recommend A. I might drive that point home that A is still preferable to B and C even with all these changes by adding a sentence to the last paragraph somewhere that said something like, I started to write it before, but it wasn't coming out right. But something like, to be clear, even if all of the above mitigating factors were implemented, B and C would, alternative A would still be, superior to B and C for these reasons. I don't know how people feel about that, but just in terms of, I wouldn't want them to come away with the message that As long as you do these things, B and C are just as good.
I agree with. I think that's
I agree.
We would say Route A is still preferable due to the inherent safety risks of B and C, something like that. Or safety
and I don't know how much we want to harp on. I mean, I think it's an important aspect, but it tends to get, the trail being a pleasant place to ride and a picturesque place to ride and all that sort of stuff is a factor. And you say that, with the promise of the original Firefly Trail and list that, vision statement. And I think that is good. I don't know. I mean, that's the other thing about B or C is that you're suddenly alongside a big road. I mean, regardless. I think aesthetics are a part of this, and this thing will be here for 50 to 100 years. So
I know. I think along with, I completely 100% agree with you. And I think part of the reason we didn't want to get into too much of it in this letter is because I feel too that the homeowners could easily say, well, it's our aesthetic. Does our aesthetic quality not matter to you at all either? So, but I agree. I do agree with you, and the character of the trail will be completely changed too, the whole environment is not preferred to run along the road. There's no ambiance with that.
I want to just ask if we could do one clarification on that new sentence. Okay, so to be clear, even if the above changes were made for routes B and C, comma, neither one would be as safe as Route A.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Then do we need to, the next sentence is feeling a little repetitive. Maybe we should say, we strongly feel. I don't know. What do you think?
I'd say we urge that you choose Route A as the best way to ensure safety trail users as well as to achieve the overarching goal of Firefly itself.
We hope that you will choose Route A.
Yeah.
How's that? Okay.
Looks good.
One thing, and with just our last minute, I don't want to harp on this too much. After reading James's comment about trying to navigate the changes, trying to navigate the trails with his daughter this weekend, I'm wondering if we need to have about who the users are, about the modes, the uses, and I don't know if we should get specific and say for everybody, which is walkers, people biking, people with kids, small children. Do we need to say people in this at all? And we don't have much time to talk about this. But, and Steven says he's good until 4:30 if we need a few more minutes, but we should try and wrap this up.
Right. Yeah.
That is language that we tend to put in a lot of Greenway stuff. The trail is used by a wide cross section of Athens community, from elderly people to families with children, that kind of stuff, to drive home the fact, yes, you'd feel bad if an adult were killed, but how bad would you feel if a child were killed?
Well,
to be blunt.
Additionally, those with disabilities.
I'm sorry. No, there are people who have the impression that it's just primarily, lycra clad, fitness buffs, and it's not.
Spandex bikers.
Additionally, those with disabilities, we want to make this easier for people who are in wheelchairs and mobility scooters. And yeah.
Particularly close to town, because coming out of Winterville, I could imagine a lot of people beginning their trip in Winterville and making a nice walk of it. And that's just not a place where you would want to begin, particularly if you're, impaired in mobility.
Can you say cyclists instead of bikers? Thanks. No. Thank you, Lauren, for making these edits. A lot of people think bikers is the black leather-clad Harley crowd.
Yeah, which is fine, but that's not, those folks, motorcycles won't be allowed on the trail, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what do y'all think about that quick ad there? Trail users will be walkers, cyclists, parents with small children, and those with mobility impairments. Rerouting the trail adds length and complexity and runs contrary to the stated purpose.
Can we just insert the word include between will and be? Will, or get rid of be. Will include or include. Good.
Maybe, oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe include, because I see these people on the 2 segments of Firefly Trail we have now, right? You can see that in Winterville now. All right, I think we have a letter.
Motion.
Yes, I will entertain a motion to approve this letter and send it to the Mayor and Commission and other interest groups, which Stephen will talk with us about if he doesn't mind after this vote.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so that's Mark and Teresa. Favor, please raise your hand and say your name and aye.
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 Aye, it's Lauren.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Jake.
Aye, Teresa.
All right. Same sign, say your name, and aye.
Also, you'll be double voting.
Yes. I like to make it official. All right, so the letter carries. So Stephen, you had some thoughts about our next steps. Would you mind sharing those with the group real quick?
Sure. So our very first group that we should probably share this with is the Firefly user group. They meet on the 20th, and I've already talked to Derek Doster. He says he's happy to share that letter. So if you want to send it either through me to him or directly to him, he will read that at the Firefly user group meeting on the 20th. That's the first stage, and then the work session for this section will be on February 9th, I believe. And so we want to send it to the Clerk of Commission out to Mayor and Commission before that date so they can read it before they see the work session presentation. So those are the 2 that I'd recommend off the top of my head. You're welcome to share it with other groups, but at least those 2 would be a suggestion.
Okay, so I will send it to the Mayor and Commission. I'll send it to Derek. And then we need to send it to the Clerk of Commission. Yeah.
So, and I believe the way that Greenway has done this in the past with sending things through Mayor and Commission, they'll do physical copies to each commissioner and then a digital copy to the clerk so that they get it through multiple ways.
How do we get a physical copy in their hands?
Yeah, great question. I can check and see that. I don't know if that goes through Gene's office as well, or if they have mailboxes in the City Hall.
I think it does. I think Gene's office does that. I've never heard Nat say that he has to print out 10 copies and stick them in everyone's mailboxes. So I suspect that.
Okay, I'll double check, but I think that sounds right, Jake.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know because I think at this point have been solely digital and solely through email, where I attach a PDF, but also kind of copy and paste a letter into the email for ease of reference to go easy on them. Yeah. Okay. I'll take the steps that we have to take, and we'll figure out about the printed letter. So
And
thanks. Yeah.
we need minutes for this meeting, right? Because this is an official meeting, or no? Do you know, Stephen?
Yeah, I think we do, but you can just say like what we voted on.
Okay.
And you can just say, review letter, motion made, seconded, and approved.
Okay.
You don't have to watch this all over again, unless you want to hear our discussion.
It's a drop in the bucket compared to the length of our normal meetings. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. I think for our T-SPLOS meetings, Keith just says, motion made, carried, and that's I think enough for according to law. So yours are extra special. Very useful. All right. I will adjourn this meeting.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thank you all so much. And thanks to Aaron for writing this for us.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, y'all, for all the updates.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.